Okay, first thing, I need to get this off. So I'm using a trim tool. I've got a whole set of these for about 10 quid, so nice and easy. That should just pop off. The next thing I need to do is get a 10mm spline in this bolt here, and that should undo. Because what I need to do is get this trim off. You can't do that with the seatbelt attached. So, right, that's that out. Don't lose the bolt. Okay, that should just pull off, but I'm going to use the trim tool again just to work it away. This was a little bit harder than I thought it was going to be, but you just have to really give it some welly and pull it out. There's a couple of poppers at the top, so you kind of get this bit out and then you can get your hands in and pull it, and it's literally just attached with poppers here, so one of them's actually still in there, so I'll pull that out and I'll reattach that in there. But other than that, not too bad. And then this top piece is just bolted in, so I can unbolt that, get that out. Just need a 10mm socket on there. Well, I didn't want to have to remove this whole piece of trim, so actually there's a little popper just in the top here. So again, just a bit of brute force, just unpop that. And because the ratchet I'm using, I've only got a little one here, I can actually get that in there. And I've just got that in enough to loosen that bolt, so I can get that off by hand now. And that should just come out. I've just dropped one of the bolts, that's fine. But anyway, there's a bit of metal. Now I've got to get that bolt out. Otherwise that's going to rattle. Don't want rattling, do we? Turns out I did actually have to take this piece out because obviously to get to these welds on this part of the bracket, I need to remove this, and I don't want to risk damaging this in any way. So that is literally just held in with poppers, like you can see, like here and here. So you just give it a bit of force and they'll just come off. So keep that somewhere safe. I can't see anything out of these goggles. I literally can't see it.
No, you can't do it without them.
I can't see. Safety first. Yeah, I think it has. I can't get these off. What is happening? Sparks are flying. There's another one here.
Not quite as easy as we thought.
Not quite as easy as I hoped. Okay, so the first one was the most difficult, mainly because the gap to get the angle grinder in is so small, and obviously with the sparks and everything you can't sort of see right down the line, so it's tricky. I must admit that was a little bit harder than I thought, but once it starts going, you give a bit of movement and it'll pop off. This second one, I didn't even need the angle grinder. It literally, you just weaken the weld by just keep moving the metal, and also just getting a chisel in next to it, just gently, will give you a bit of leeway. See, so then I can get that down and just keep moving it, just to weaken that metal up. Right, one more. Success. So now I've got to do that along the bottom and up the other side. Most of the time I was kind of just working in with the chisel to bend it away and then getting the angle grinder on it when I needed to. Some of these just snap clean off, which makes it a lot easier because all of this is going to be hidden under the trim anyway. And any of these bits here where there's bare metal, I've got hammerite rust paint to paint on there to protect all that. Oh god, this is difficult. I'm stressed out. That was so much harder than I thought it was going to be, because not only was there a weld at the front, there was also a weld behind it, and so it was just so difficult. I couldn't get the angle grinder in at the angle, so it was a nightmare.
Things haven't quite gone to plan.
You ever do one of those jobs where you start it and you wish you just paid someone else to do it? New shirt means a new day. So this bulkhead removal bit has moved into another day now. It started raining yesterday, so we couldn't finish it. But it seems to be alright at the moment, so I'm going to go and carry on. But there's something I'm going to do beforehand, and I'll show you that out by the van. So yesterday I got this side done, removed it all from there, put the trim back, got this bit done, and these little bits here are just where I painted over the welds that I've cut out with some Hammerite paint. But this side isn't going to be as easy because I can't get to this panel without removing the double seat, which I must admit I didn't really want to have to do, but we're fitting a double swivel base plate to this, hopefully this week, so that means we'll be able to turn the seats around to face back into the van, so I might as well take the seat out now, seeing as that's got to come out anyway. So this job has turned into rather a mission, but I'll get it done. So this is the front seat folded up. Basically in here there's some wiring cradles which you unplug, and they'll fall down this side and also that side, and then the double seat is basically held in by 8 of these bolts, 16mm bolts. So you just unscrew each of them and it should lift out. Yep, as suspected, you just undo the bolts, lift it up and it will come away. But it started raining again now, so I'll have to leave it for a minute and come back to it. Back in the van, still raining, so I'm shut in here now. Hopefully it's not too dark for you to see. So what I've done is I've moved the seat away. There were leads under here, lots of electrical looms for various different bits and pieces that kind of connected together under the double seat. So right here, under here, I don't want to lift this up again because I've only just got them in place, but right under this there's a kind of a gap, which is just enough space to get all those looms put in, so that when the double seat swivel base arrives, this will be flat enough to put that on when I come to install it. So I've tied all that up. I've got to clean all this out, particularly these sort of iron particles that have come off when I was welding. I've got to get rid of all that so that it doesn't rust. I've painted these bits where I've taken the welds out. Now I've got to do this side. So this side came off pretty easily, kind of quite cleanly. Not too bad. I've just got to paint these up and get the trim back on, and then that is job done. That was a lot harder than I was expecting, and it took a lot longer than I was expecting. It's probably taken me the best part of, I'd say, 3 or 4 hours to get that out of there, and I wasn't expecting it to take that long. It's not a problem, but just so you know, if you ever attempt anything like this yourself, allow a good few hours to do it. Oh, and also another big tip: take the double seat out straight away. It would have made life a lot easier if I'd done that to start with. In hindsight, I should have just taken it straight out, seeing as I was going to have to do it anyway to get to this bit. So yeah, that's my top tip. Just a quick disclaimer: I am not a professional by any means. I have no idea what I'm doing, so please just take this as how I did it rather than how to do it. There are much better videos out there for proper how-tos. Caravans was a really helpful one that I found, and also Gordon from G-Dubs, his videos are really helpful. Although I do think he made it look easier than it is, but his videos are great. I'll link both those channels in the description, so if you want a proper how-to video, they'll be really good starting points. And this is really just how I did it, so take anything I say or do with a pinch of salt.